Hello friends, welcome back to the Steps to Baking series. This is a 13-part video series in which we take a closer look at each individual step of the bread baking process. From weighing out your ingredients to cooling your bread down after baking, each of these steps is just as important as the next, and all of them will affect the end result. And today is the final episode, cooling. Yes, something as simple as cooling your bread down after baking can have a major impact on eating quality. So make sure that bread has been cooled down properly. And the best way to cool down your bread is at room temperature on a cooling rack. And if you don't have a cooling rack, you can lean your breads against something. Because if it will touch a solid surface, you'll tend to sweat on the bottom, and that'll make it go soggy. Now ideally you want to cool your bread down to room temperature before cutting into it. But self-control is a difficult thing when you have a freshly baked loaf of bread in front of you. And I am definitely guilty of cutting into warm loaves. And it's cool, you can do that. Just make sure it's not steaming hot right out the oven, because the inside structure and the flavor of your bread is still developing whilst it's cooling down. And if you cut into a hot loaf, you will see that it's gummy inside. So always make sure you let your bread cool down before cutting into it. Now there are some breads that require a really long cooling process. And it's not just because of cooling. Rye bread, for instance, should be left for 24 hours before cutting. If you cut it too early, the flavor will not be there and it will be really gummy inside. When it comes to crackers, it goes without saying, they need to be dry and crispy, so you better let them cool down. There are definitely plenty of breads which are best eaten warm, like flatbreads. They're best when they're still warm and soft. Or these Korean cream cheese buns, they're filled with cheese. You want the cheese to be stretchy, right? Same goes for naans, hachapuri, pizza. And technically speaking, bread starts staling as soon as it comes out of the oven. And of course a flatbread will become stale a lot quicker than a whole loaf of bread. And if you want to prevent staling and improve your bread's keeping quality, you should use a pre-ferment. That's why sourdough breads and rye breads and breads made with Polish or Bega, they keep for longer and they don't go moldy. And contrary to popular belief, you should never keep your bread in the fridge, because in the fridge it will stale even quicker than outside. And that's cooling for you. I hope you enjoyed the Steps of Baking series. This is the final episode. I will link the whole playlist at the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.